JT and Low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Low. You never know which way the rhetoric is going. Classic conversations with JT and Low.
Y'all know what time it is, people. It is time for Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And Jose.
And as a cop supposed to be on his way. We're going to start with that the first time. Supposed to be on his way.
Yeah, so, we're going to start doing this at the beginning of the show for some of our new subscribers. My name is James T. Thompson, a.k.a. Classic J, your classic man, a.k.a. JT. To my immediate right is Angelo, a.k.a. Low, a.k.a. Mr. Sit Down at Uptown himself. To the far right, as you see, is it an empty seat? That is MJ, a.k.a. Ask a Cop, a.k.a. I am on my way. All the time. But he also added a new nickname tonight. He said, a.k.a. I will be there. So we will see. And we are Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And Ask a Cop.
Oh, boy. I'm telling you, I just gave him that nickname last week, and he lived up to it the following week. How about that? We got to start keeping this tally, man. We need to get us a board. That we
I know, right?
What is it like? You do the 4 marks, and then you scratch through it with one. We need to start doing that so we can put it up for his last minute. Yeah, I ain't gonna make it type deals and everything. But listen, man, I want y'all to be a part of this conversation. 404-500-1605. Again, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Yes, I have said that you can't talk for 15 minutes, but you still can talk. Give us a call, be a part of the conversation, because this is dialogue for the community. You are the community, so we need for you to give us a telephone call. Call on up in here. As you can see, well, actually you can't, but you will see, we have 2 of our dynamic ladies that are on the podium this week. We have the lovely Jose that has shown back up. How you doing, young lady?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm Gucci. Mm-hmm. And all the way to my right, if I call a number 1 fan, I'm going to get in trouble. But when I tell you this young lady is commenting all the time, for y'all that don't know, she is here. And, she's ready for her close-up.
You know what? You right.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah. The wonderful Kiki is in the building. How you doing, baby?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Angelo, all is good with you, bro?
Can't complain at all, man. Everything is good. Everybody's good. I did say I'd shout out my Asa one time because I forgot to mention the other day how he beat us in spades, which is very rare occurrence for me to lose in spades. But here was the thing I wanted to mention. He beat us in spades while doing calculus homework on his computer and didn't skip a beat.
It's all in the numbers, baby.
Hey, this kid was just doing. I'm talking about doing the formula, doing all this stuff, and didn't miss a beat. I just had to talk.
He beat you though?
That's rare too.
Does that speak to his expertise or What? How many was he playing? How many of you were playing? Was it
It's
just
four. It's four.
four? So does it speak to his expertise or the other three? Were y'all like drinking or what?
Nah, I mean,
His expertise.
he
figured it
has
out.
a desire to win. He's getting, he really studies. You know what I mean? You cannot renege on him. Because even while doing calculus, he watches every single card hit that table. So,
I was about to say it don't matter what nobody else was doing. If he can play spade and do calculus, I still ain't figured out how to pass calculus. And he can play spade and do it.
And do it at the same time.
I had to try to figure out how to pass it because I never took it.
I mean, I just kind of ended
That's
up there.
hilarious.
I don't
I
want
was
to go
good.
there.
I'm good in math.
Man, I was
I
not
ain't
the
wanna
least
go
bit
there.
interested in taking calculus. The least bit.
Neither was I.
Because calculus was like after like math 4 or something like that, wasn't it? Calculus was like,
I don't know.
yeah, I know it was too far from me.
Tricks, calculus, yeah. Too
I
far.
Algebra-
I didn't go
algebra-
past geometry. I'd say algebra 1, algebra 2, and geometry. That was my requirements. And
Algebra 2.
Yeah, deuces.
Algebra 2, that was it for me, and I was done.
You're a veteran and you let a YN beat you in spades. How long you been playing spades?
First of all, my son is not a white.
Oh, he ain't. Okay.
Let me squirt.
Okay. That's what's up.
He don't
Okay.
fit into that category.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And you know what?
Okay.
You know what? That's something that we need to speak about. I saw something. Somebody was asking about the YN the whole YN thing. Why is it that we're grabbing a hold of this, description of our younger black men? And I think that's something that we're gonna have to speak about.
I mean,
I think it's the younger black men that's actually calling the younger black
but
men.
it's similar to the
YNs.
conversation we had. Was it last week? Before last, we talked about how we make everything. Yeah,
Make everything cool.
yeah. It's
Child, I just learned what it meant last week.
It's just another one of those things that So now it's
Is it bad? What's the definition? Maybe I don't know what the definition is.
young nigga.
I know, but what's
Yeah, young nigga. Yeah, and,
Right.
And
Do y'all use it,
A lot
though?
of people want to. A lot of people want to
Not
say.
describe
Okay.
mine.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Okay.
Not describe
A lot of
mine.
people want to say that it's the
Okay,
that it's the
okay.
government or whatever that's doing it. I don't think it's the government that gave him that name. What you think about that?
Government
You
gave
think
who what name?
it's the young YN. Do you think it's the government or
No, that's a
other
hood. That
people?
ain't nothing but a hood.
That's how.
That ain't nothing but a
Right.
hood name, just like everything else.
Like they say they call us aunties or unk. You know what I'm saying?
But that ain't that bad.
Or OG.
But still, it falls. It's
I
all
see
one of
you
them
saying
hoods.
with OG. A lot
Yeah.
of people saying, we took OG and glorifying it, but OG was actually about original gangster.
Right.
That's supposedly what it was about.
That was the initial thing. You know what I mean?
Is a
But
gangster
now,
something good?
no,
Right,
not
right.
necessarily.
Right.
But it's a term of endearment now in the hood for most people. If they feel like they got respect for you, they call you OG. And then you got to decide whether you're ready to be called OG or Unc.
Because one of them comes,
There you have a point.
look, or Mister.
Man, oh,
Give
man.
me an OG or Don't call me. Don't say Mister when you tell me what such and such is.
Hey,
That's so
real
bad.
quick, man. Frank said, how did
That's
Kiki
silly.
and Lady Cop both show up this week as I came to town? My agent is getting fired.
Now is that the one I said he give me Isley vibes?
I know, that was
Okay.
Hey, that's funny, Frank.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you got both of them here tonight, Frank, man. We just showered by yellow.
Hey, Don, bro, if you watching, I saw it a little bit while you was sitting here, but when I looked at it actually on YouTube,
It met the
bro,
category, huh?
Oh my God, dude, you was really giving those Isley vibes. He was giving them all day.
Yeah. I
All
put it under
day.
the post. I put
Oh,
it
it
under
was
the post.
crazy. It was crazy.
Willie Ocean. That's him.
Caribbean Queen.
What's up, Ty Vic from Cancun? What's up, brother?
Yeah, Todd Vic. Hey, happy anniversary. To,
Todd Vic like me, he gonna
another
check
one
in
of
from
our
anywhere.
big time fans. Todd Vic and my sister Teresa, they had their first year
That's what's
anniversary this
up.
past Sunday.
That's what's
So
up.
they in Cancun kicking it. Congratulations and everything. Appreciate you taking care of her like I
Black love.
Like you
figured
threatened you.
Like I figured that you would. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what it is.
What's up, Unc?
Let's get it going. Shout out to the Florida Gators and the Yukon Huskies. Florida Gators on the men's side, UConn Huskies on the women's side for being national champions in basketball. You know, they both won their championships this week. You know, big time for that.
South Carolina got skull drilled. Didn't see that coming. Connecticut was on fire. But I've never seen South Carolina get beat like that. They beat by 20, 19 early. This is about 30 points, bro.
It shows,
in a national championship game.
It shows that you actually need one person to lead. You need that one best person. South Carolina had a team of good players. UConn had a great player, and you know, then they had those other two. Yeah, they put it on them. But I think Dawn Staley's going to do pretty good.
Now, South Carolina overachieved this year.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, they overachieved.
And they got the leading scorer for the NCAA transfer into the school next year.
Wow.
Yeah, so, yeah, look for Dawn Staley to stay right where she at. Shout out to Norfolk State guard Christian Ings for winning the State Farm College Slam Dunk Championship. Norfolk State, HBCU.
Behold, the green and gold.
Yes, sir. He got out there and did his thing. You know, with the, as they call, what they say are the big boys. He got out there and did his thing and won it going away, to be honest with you. The last dunk he didn't even have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some small things, not so small things. Stephen A. Smith, he is considering a 2028 presidential run. Smith says Capitol Hill officials and elected leaders have approached him recently, and he says that he would only run if he believed he had a legitimate chance to win. He says, over the last few weeks, I've had no choice but to get more serious about it. I've been approached by people on Capitol Hill, governors, mayors, and other elected officials who have legitimately and seriously asked me about running. So he said he would not rule it out of running for president in 2028. Any opinions on that?
He need to run right now. We need to get this Ronald McDonald out.
But
Ronald need to be impeached. Let somebody else get in there. Not in 4 years.
Everybody else running. It ain't surprising, but I don't know. I always just felt like a president should kind of go through the chain, like be a mayor, be a, you know, not just like Trump, just
be there.
Yeah. Like it should be levels to this, and it's none.
Yeah, but it's not. That's the thing about it. So
I mean, it was prior to Trump, but
what did Reagan? Was Reagan?
Girl, I don't know that too far back.
So does that open up? So you think
said
that opens up doors now for the future of politics, where people are just going to end up on that platform without doing what we've called the levels?
I think why not? I mean, you know, I don't. You would want to have your president in a political knowledge space, you would think. However, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, because they don't have to fall into that same political space. You know what I mean? So I could see him running. I don't see it being very successful.
That's what I was gonna say. You think he can galvanize?
No, I don't. But I like
people already.
They don't like talk about just said he run as a Republican. That would be his best bet to actually have a chance of winning. It's obvious that you can.
He said it would be the Democratic National Party is where he would run at.
Yeah, he would lose. Huh? Yeah. He
but don't y'all think Kamala should try?
No.
No? Okay. Why not? Why not?
They have spoken.
But did they?
They did.
Y'all don't think his election was stolen?
I don't disagree that there's probably some tampering in the water, but I don't think she would have. I think it'd have been tough sledding.
No.
And
do you think she would have won with the full campaign?
Possible.
Maybe had a better chance.
Yeah.
I thought she, me personally, her vice president selection didn't give her any kind of boost.
Right.
And maybe with proper time, maybe you could have picked a better
Candidate.
campaign person that could have helped you, maybe help, you know what I mean? But I just think I just think, man, there's a lot of people who are adamant they don't want a female, and and you just hear the conversations. There's so many men that's against a female.
That's messed up.
Well, men in general, though, not just us, but men in general, and I think it's gonna be the hardest part of it, man.
Wow.
You know, when Hillary didn't win, I was like, oof.
Right.
They really don't want one.
So,
But hindsight, everything she said is coming into fruition. Right? All the stuff that she said was going to happen. There's a lot of clips pulling up.
You talking about
Kamala.
Kamala? Well, I mean,
So
what she
she's
said,
shown
but
that she
what she
knows what she's
said,
talking
everybody
about.
said what was going to happen. But again, this guy, everything's coming to fruition. He said half of it.
But I'm saying, well, I'm
he
saying
told us what he was going to do.
some of the other
Hey,
stuff,
man.
like she said that he wants to be in bed with Putin and that he's going to betray you for it. She said all this.
But he did that 8 years ago. He's already shown that side of him. So I don't think that what was going to change this time. We're going to all of a sudden, he did all this stuff. Only thing I can say about him is that he's doing all the things that a lot of people wish President Obama would have done, which is take that second term and make it a FU moment, because that's what he's doing.
Fact.
He's taking his second term and making it a FU moment. I don't care what y'all do. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care what y'all say. This is what I'm doing. Do something about it. And how many people wanted President Obama to have done the same thing, to take that same opportunity to just say, hey, I'm coming in, all guns are blazing. I don't care what you think about it, So, but he's a he's a politician.
He is.
Obama's a politician.
He
And that's what I'm saying. That's where you wonder where the landscape of the politician versus somebody that's not.
You're right.
Because a politician's gonna be
There
a
you go.
politician. You know what I mean? Somebody like a Stephen A. Smith,
Trump
he's not a
is not-
politician, so
Trump
he's
is
just gonna
not
be
a
just raw and uncut.
So Stephen A.
Dump is
Smith,
just raw and uncut.
Stephen A. Smith and Kamala.
Yeah, but he's
as his vice
also a
president.
puppet.
Huh?
Trump is being a puppet right now.
For
A lot of this
who?
stuff is his whole cabinet is a bunch of crooks, and they are giving him the playbook. This is what we want. Well, we already know that, we already know Elon's his sugar daddy. That's without even being said. But the rest of the cabinet is also putting in what they want, saying this is what
Y'all
we
look
need you to
good.
do, and
Y'all
he's
look
doing it. I don't think he's making a lot of these decisions.
I don't think the cabinet is doing that. The cabinet, a bunch of do boys and girls. The
They a
cabinet,
bunch-
they just happen to be there.
The cabinet
Now,
all the
if you say, if you look at all the real billionaires that's behind him and funded him, that's a different conversation. But you can remember that cabinet, that was a bunch of goofballs. That's the most unqualified cabinet in the history of
We know.
history.
And they're trying to make law. They're trying to change things to benefit them. Right. Right. Right.
So Stephen A. and Kamala for vice president.
I'm saying his ego is bigger than their brain. That's correct. I agree with that.
So as y'all can see, the screen is filled. MJ, aka Ask a Cop, aka I'm on my way, aka I am here, is in the building. How you doing, bro?
Whew, traffic was hell.
With the
All I
straight
got to
face
say.
too.
You could have
This
blamed it on
Atlanta
the parking.
traffic, boy. Woo.
Hey, so real.
I'm
quick,
glad I missed that last topic, though.
Me too.
Yeah, you want to hit
Got
the,
your phone
hit the
together?
button? Hit the button. You want to hit the button? Turn the phone off real quick.
My phone is off.
Okay, all right. We're gonna move with it. Then. Real quick.
is
Famous last words.
Give your
We're going to come in here late and my phone on. Come
give
on.
your,
One or the other.
You said one or the other.
give your opinion on Stephen A. Smith not ruling out running for president in 2028. Quickly.
I have no issue with it. I think the next strong candidate is going to be somebody independent. I think Democrats effed up, Republicans are effed up, and I think a strong independent. Do I think it's Stephen A. Smith? Not, but anybody that's a strong candidate that throws themselves in there and can find some type of financial backing to beat the war horses, they have a shot. Because I think what's happened after Trump gets elected, the poor in Ohio and all these places, the PYTs, whatever you want to say, call them, going to realize damn, I'm black. All the poor in America, white poor in America, gonna realize, damn, shit, I'm getting treated just like I'm black. Because they've always had the status thing. What he's doing affects us, but it also affects everyone in that class. So I think the next president is gonna have to actually earn every vote. I think the Democrats have always had the poor black vote and a large number of a vote, period, just because. I think they're gonna have to earn that vote. And the Republicans, the votes that they counted on, you know, to quote the race baiters and all those type people, the megas, and a lot of them, they're going to have to earn their vote because what's happened now is affecting everybody, not just poor blacks. So, like I said, I think it's the Stephen A. Do I think that's the person? No, but who would have thought Trump was going to get elected? So, I play it like it is. I think a strong, independent candidate is going to step forward. I'm looking at the former Dallas Mavericks majority owner.
Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban would be a good choice. There's other people out there that could also run, but it's got to be somebody that doesn't have their hands in the trough. Face it, people, the only person that's going to run that doesn't have their hands in troughs is somebody rich. Look at Warnock. Warnock went in on child support. All of a sudden, he's a millionaire. Go figure.
America's ghetto.
Why y'all always like to use people like Warnock as your example of people getting rich, but y'all never call out all the other side?
I've always called out people on this. I call out Bush when he let his son get out of a saving and loan scandal, and then he had enough money after all of a sudden the savings and loan were bailed out. Then he turned around and bought the Texas Rangers, and he's a billionaire now.
How rich is Mitch McConnell?
Oh, all of them. There's no every senator.
But I'm just saying, but you know, when people make these examples, they always say
that's the newest
they always
one.
bring up the Democratic side.
That's the newest one. I know.
But they
I've
never bring
always
out the
said
Republican side.
Everybody.
Rich.
Bush did it for his son.
Bush did it for Bush. Bush did it for the entire family.
Exactly. The
They
same
create
thing.
wars
Biden
to
did
get
the
rich.
same thing.
That's what they
Everybody's
do.
done it. People came in and made money, and that's the issue with both parties. They all make money. That's all it is. It's a big money scandal. There's no side better than the other side. They're all digging us down.
Damn.
You love to say that phrase.
Made me clench up. Be feeling uncomfortable. All right, moving on. Duke basketball star is among South Sudanese who could be deported due to a new Trump policy. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Saturday that the U.S. will be revoking all visas of South Sudanese passport holders because of the transitional government's refusal to accept U.S. deportees from the country in a timely manner. So this is going to affect. This happened with this kid. This is a kid that plays with Duke University. The ruling came down hours before the basketball game, and he pretty much played the worst basketball game he has in his short career. It's going to affect a lot of people in basketball, I think, on the men and women's side. It's not many South Sudanese playing baseball and football, but in basketball there are a lot of them. What do y'all think about this, man?
You put your arms up, so go ahead.
Dude, I could give a shit. Okay, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are going to be deported. A lot of people that are in the country illegally are going to get deported. That's something that President Obama wanted. That's something that a lot of presidents have had the capability to do, but never did. It's getting done. Do I like everything Trump's doing? Hell no. But that's one thing I do agree with. If you're here illegally, it doesn't matter if you're paying taxes and paying into it. There's other benefits that you're getting that taxpayer and citizens should get, not a legal alien. Now, if they want to give them all a chance to get a working green card where their social security numbers accounted for and everything's done correctly, do that. Even if you do it just
Is
one
that-
mass swipe of the pen
Is
and
that
do
the
it.
work visas? That's what that is. Is that what that consists of in regards?
Oh, no. I'm saying that would be a solution to the mass deportations. If you have somebody that can show that they've been consistently paying taxes and doing the right thing, but they are here illegally, set up some program like that. But to say just because somebody bounces the ball for Duke, if he falls under that category, we have to quit letting countries force their will on us.
But he's not here illegally, right?
No, that's just the way we're not letting anybody from that country remain in here that's not already under immigration status as far as working on it or in there. So if you do that, yeah, Okay, it's going to hurt some people, yes, but the fact that he plays Duke basketball matters not. He has the same status as maybe somebody working in the kitchen in a restaurant that's under the same status. You can't let people push you around. He's doing something about it. Like it or not, he's doing something about it.
But what about the money that's involved?
What money?
You think it's worth it? All this money that they're spending just to get
To
these
deport
people out of
people
to
back?
deport them out?
Yes.
Okay.
I like to see it when they do a raid of Trump headquarters, Trump towers, Trump casino, you know, and all them other billionaires. I want to see them raid some of those places and show me how serious they are about the deportation. Because I guarantee you, if they did,
lot of employees.
they have a bunch of them out there. But
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
it's-
but
that's
it's
gonna Just let
It's
you know.
good- it's a good
Hey,
story,
when the
that's all I can
smoke
say.
clears, the truth will be out there.
their truth. That's the problem.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right. Another thing, Barack Obama says he is in a deep deficit with his wife. After 2 consecutive terms in the White House, Barack says that once he left the White House after 8 years, he realized he was in a deep deficit with his wife. He'd been trying to dig himself out of a hole by occasionally doing fun things because while he was president, there was a lot of things that he couldn't do. His husbandly duties couldn't do.
Preston, you saw about that, Preston. Anyway, go ahead.
It was just a matter of
Go
time.
ahead, go ahead.
This
It
shit's
was
fucked
just a
up.
matter of time. It was just a matter
The
of time.
ring goes off, though.
But
Saw me
in regards to him saying that
The volume
he's
wasn't down.
in debt with his wife, is this something that you think that happens all the time with men of power that are married, men that own successful businesses and things of
Absolutely.
that
That
nature?
happen with regular
Yeah.
people, so I know the president has got to be real hard.
I've been saying that. I felt like, you know, me and Lo had a conversation. I feel like that a lot of times when they are super successful, they put a lot of hours in, and so their families don't always get everything that they should from that person, you know, because they're putting a lot of their energy into their job, you know.
And as president, it's required. Like,
Facts.
the balance got to be crazy.
Except for the current president, he still plays golf. But I get your
I
point.
mean, he's not a politician.
There you go.
I mean, if he was a politician, then maybe
Yeah,
it'd be hard for him too. But I mean, people do make time for what they want, though.
Yeah, I think it's just the reality of, you know, there's certain things you have to do that you're gonna have to make sacrifices, and you know, but yeah, there's certain sacrifices you have to make on both ends in terms of sacrificing things that you have to do with your family, and you know, but there's certain sacrifices that I just think it's unavoidable if you're trying to do anything, you know, long term successfully. I just think it's, you know, Frank, perfect example, just said 30 years in the military. You know, being gone all the time, different, you know what I mean? You know, and that's why so many of them, you know, so many people in certain fields get divorces and whatnot because, you know.
So Frank, do you feel you're in a deep deficit with your wife? Oh, sorry, I had to do
30 years, yeah, he is.
You think you're in a deep deficit with your wife, Frank? Put it in the comments.
I mean, it's the same thing with Judge Mathis. His wife said the same thing. You know, she felt like he did not put time into their relationship. And money cannot substitute being intentional with your wife, you know.
Yeah, his only response, bruh. That means deep.
Totally dig. So, wait, what Judge Mathis? What? We in jail or crackhead or something?
What?
Nah,
What are you talking about?
his wife was about to leave.
Was it? Did he do something bad though before he?
You talking
became
about
a
Joe
judge?
Brown or Judge Matt?
Oh, you talking about when he was a teenager? He was in them streets when he was a teenager.
Yeah, he was.
But
he
as
was
an
about that
adult,
life.
no.
As an adult, okay.
Nah, and as an adult, he got his life together.
Oh, I was saying,
Hey,
That's what he said.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and that's probably how you know.
I was saying, can't owe for that.
Yeah.
I think when you're a crackhead, you know your actions are kind of excusable.
What? Thank you, Ben.
I get where you're going with it.
Right.
Hey, for the last few minutes of this segment, man, we know about this stabbing of the white kid, black student, track guy under the tent. White kids made him, told him he had to leave. Twin brothers who reportedly were bullies and racist. Their pages have been scrapped of all the stuff that they used to say and do. The guns they were showing, all the stuff they displayed has all been scrapped. And of course, they're painting the black kid as the villain. The pictures they try to post are all, they know how to make sure the light shows the dark side. They try to bring out the, say the negativity. But ask a cop, what's from what you gathered thus far, what's your thoughts on that particular case?
What I've seen, if there's two ways to look at it. If a knife wouldn't have been drawn in that fight, the kids jumped him, they could have been charged. The kids involved in the way they were threatening him, if there was a suspension involved, it would have been them. They were the aggressors. Now, I'm not versed enough in your stand your ground laws in Texas, so I can't really speak on that. But just looking at how I see it, the kid pulled a knife on school grounds. He wasn't supposed to have a knife. That's going to play against him getting off on the case or getting reduced. And there's rumors, just like they said those kids had guns. They said he was suspended at the time that the attack occurred. There's a lot of rumors out there. What's going to happen, law enforcement's going to look at the case. They're going to put it together. They're going to send it to a prosecutor. The prosecutor's going to weigh it out. A lot of that has to deal with what's the makeup of that grand jury that does it. The racial makeup's going to play. A lot of things are going to play into it. But the thing that people can't lose sight of, this probably happens 1,000 times at track meets and different events where kids from different schools fight.
Yeah.
But when you bring a weapon into it, it changes it. Is it going to be murder, death penalty like everybody's saying? No, but I could see manslaughter. So, a lesser charge, I could see that happening. But it also depends on, like you were saying, what actually happened in that tent. Witnesses are all going to be probably under the age of 18 when they do get them in there. And if they did it correctly and didn't try to, I don't know what jurisdiction that was in, but if they did it correctly, they're going to have a breakdown and question every single one of those kids. Those statements are going to be different from what they're putting on social media now or how it's being portrayed, because when the mic goes in front of you and somebody's talking about murder and you can be included and this and that, they're going to tell the truth. So the facts will come out. What you're doing now, you have a father that's concerned about his son going to jail, which he should be, and he's out there trying to get in front of it. You have parents that are crushed, that are dealing with it, as they well should. They're trying to make their sons look like a saint, and the guys whose son had the knife and went to the track meet is trying to make his son look like a saint. It's somewhat going to be in the middle, but we do know one thing: the gentleman that was stabbed was the aggressor. The other side, you got to look at it. We also know you're not supposed to bring a knife to school, so it should have been a fist fight turned into a knife fight. So will the charges stick? Most likely, we're in Texas. Depends on the racial makeup of the grand jury. He will be indicted. If he's convicted, we'll see that down the line.
Anybody got a thought before we go to break?
No, I was gonna say I just haven't seen, unless it's been like the mass shootings. A lot of them young white kids, they get off doing some of that stuff. Being violent. I don't know.
Kiki?
I don't know. It's kind of personal for me. What I will say is I've been in a situation. They didn't die. But I didn't go to jail either. I had other things I had to do, and I did those things. But the situation was very, very similar. But we were both African-American people. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Here's what I would say. Like as the cop said, a lot of it's going to be so opinionated, and the grand jury is going to play a part. And I don't know who the DA is, and let's face facts, that area, the ethnic makeup of that area is going to play a part. The judge, all that stuff is going to play major roles in how that is sorted out initially. But you mentioned Cal, Rittenhouse, and even before that, man, you've seen so many times where I'm hoping that some of our black multi-millionaires, billionaires, because to me, based on what we've learned, I would have hoped that one of them would have stepped up and bailed this kid out by now.
Right.
Because they bailed out Cal immediately. There's a couple other, folks that have committed these murders against black folks, and the gun, what you call them, the little gun organization to bail them out. Somebody will always bail these jokers out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I like to see our folks step up to the plate. At least get this kid out and figure out what's, then you can really make sense of it. Get him a really good attorney.
That's the important thing, is get him a good attorney, and hopefully
That's
somebody got to him and said, don't make a stop. I know he made a statement there because they had a little bit of it on there. But like I said, it's a lot of ways to look at it. Everybody, now they're going to go a fine-tooth comb. We're going to find out who the virgin was or if there was no virgin involved.
NRA, thank you, Frank.
Yeah, both kids' reputations are going to be put out there, and that's going to have some bearing on it also. If the black kid was a troublemaker, it's going to come out. No, you don't know that. The fact, you got to look at the facts. White kids, everybody's putting it out there. They were bullies. They were fighters. So if that comes out, that's going to help the black kid's case, and it could be reduced at some point. But he's going to be indicted on some form of a murder charge because he did take the life of somebody else. It's going to come into how much duress he was under. Did he have fear for losing his life? Things like that's going to play into it. So the facts are going to come out. Like I said, we'll see who was who, and that's going to weigh strongly on what happened. If the kid that pulled the knife is a clean record, hasn't been involved in anything, that's going to play a lot in his favor. And if those other kids are as bad as some people are saying,
I say Trayvon Martin was shot and killed, like one-on-one with a grown man. Mm-hmm. This dude was jumped by two brothers who I was the bigger than him. If that ain't stand your ground, if you can shoot somebody, we
have to look at the Texas
I would hope you could.
statute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Look at Texas statute.
That was huge, though, what you said in regards to some of our, within our community, these millionaires and billionaires, somebody to step up, bail them out and get them a competent defense, type of deal, or legal team behind them. That would be dope. But listen, we're going to take a break, man, and when we come back...
Dude, what did you do with the cake? Huh? I'm sorry, go ahead. He has a cake that was supposed to be for everybody on the podcast. I want to know what the cake is.
Right.
This is,
Still ain't got the food you said you was gonna
Right.
This number one fan
Wait a minute,
said
wait a
she
minute.
had some cake, and I want to
You didn't bring no food.
had we known you
And-
were gonna be running so late, you could have picked the junk up on your way here and still been on
Right,
time.
right. And Lo, the last time Lo brought some food, you took the whole thing.
Did.
You took the whole thing and
was
just ate
delicious,
it.
I might add.
Before we start talking about cake, I was going to say, we're going to take a break. And we're going to use the Anthony Edwards situation that's happening. And we're going to talk about custody bias, accountability, and culture clashes when we come back. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a cop.
We'll be right back.
I wouldn't know where I would be without her. You know what I mean? You're talking about this woman that's strong and pushed her way through, constantly making opportunities for everybody. Regina King, Nia Long, Robbie Reed. It's just the list goes on and on of individuals that she's touched. You know what I mean? That are going on to do great things. So she was like, "You need to come audition for this thing." I'm a breakdancer. She was like, "They don't get as much money as actors." I'm in. So we went over to her house for about a weekend, and her son was managing me at the time, Dorian. Shouts out to Dorian Gibbs. And we worked through the stuff. And I went and read in front of one person, and then the next time it was 5, and then the next time it was 15, and I was like, wow. It was getting real. And then it came down to me and this other guy, and I beat him up.
Ready to find a studio that matches your podcast vision? Located inside Uptown Comedy Corner, our studio just 5 minutes from Atlanta's airport has everything you need. From high-quality equipment to multi-camera setups for live streaming, we've got it all. With 15 plus years of experience, our team ensures smooth sessions with editing and post-production services at an additional cost. Plus, our competitive pricing make it easy for creators of all levels. Contact us at 404-500-1605.
I wouldn't know where I would be without her. You know what I mean? You're talking about this woman that's strong and pushed her way through, constantly making opportunities for everybody. Regina King, Nia Long, Robbie Reed. It's just the list goes on and on of individuals that she's touched. You know what I mean? That are going on to do great things. So she was like, "You need to come audition for this thing." I'm a breakdancer. She was like, "They don't get as much money as actors." I'm in. So we went over to her house for about a weekend, and her son was managing me at the time, Dorian. Shouts out to Dorian Gibbs. And we worked through the stuff. And I went and read in front of one person, and then the next time it was 5, and then the next time it was 15, and I was like, wow. It was getting real. And then it came down to me and this other guy, and I beat him up. Ready to find a studio that matches your podcast vision? Located inside Uptown Comedy Corner, our studio just 5 minutes from Atlanta's airport has everything you need. From high-quality equipment to multi-camera setups for live streaming, we've got it all. With 15 plus years of experience, our team ensures smooth sessions with editing and post-production services at an additional cost. Plus, our competitive pricing make it easy for creators of all levels. Contact us at 404-500-1605.
Party people in the house. We are back, man. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a cop.
As I said, man, we're gonna jump
That's
right
what she
on to
probably
this
did.
thing. We're gonna use the Anthony Edwards situation that's happening. Now, listen, we are not judging Anthony Edwards. We are not. I mean, we're gonna have to use the concept of it, but kind of want to push it towards if it wasn't Anthony Edwards, what would it be? So I'm gonna give dollar amounts that Anthony Edwards gave, and I'm gonna give some dollar amounts that somebody I know might give.
If it wasn't Anthony Edwards, it would have been an abortion, period.
So
Good point.
Anthony Edwards, young lady was he was dealing with, reached out to him in January of 2024, told him that she was pregnant. At the time, he blocked her and stopped all communication with her, told her he didn't want nothing to do with no child with her. He didn't want anything to do with the child, all that type of stuff. She had the child October 2024, but supposedly she did ask him in regards to the abortion to give her $100,000 and she would get the abortion. Well, supposedly he did give her the $100,000. And then she had the baby in October 2024. And Anthony Edwards basically said, I don't want nothing to do with this child. I don't want anything at all to do with this child. It's your child. You deal with it. You asked me about an abortion. I said, let's do it. I gave you $100,000. You didn't do it. So now it's on you.
Well, from what I heard, the child support, did he pay it up front? Or is that
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, he paid.
Well,
Is
that's
that
later
fake
down the
news or
line.
what?
He talking about the initial.
Yeah.
Oh, we just talking about the initial part of it?
Yeah, that was the initial part of it, where he basically gave her the $100K. Now there are words that's out now that he did supposedly pay her up front what the child support would have been for 18 years, and basically says that he don't want anything to do with the child. He don't want to be in the child's life, all that type of thing. Now, of course, again, this is Anthony Edwards, who what's $300 million's last contract he signed. Was that 252 or something like that?
Something like that. Making $40 million a year.
Yeah.
Listen.
So
That's just basketball money.
with her, let's talk about on that side and that type of money. Who was right? Who was wrong in this? In your opinion, of course, we don't know who was. We don't want to.
Well,
He's definitely wrong.
I don't think nobody is wrong.
Wait. Okay.
He's definitely
hold
wrong.
on. Wait.
No, go ahead.
We'll come back.
No, go. She stated first. I would like to hear.
So you say he's definitely wrong. Go ahead.
Because, okay, maybe you made a mistake, okay, dealing with this woman. However, the mistake is a child. That's your seed. So for you to say, take this money and I'm walking away, you wrong for that. Why does the child have to suffer for a mistake that you made? That's just,
is a little girl or a little boy?
that's
It's a
ignorant.
girl.
That's why.
That's why I say he's wrong.
That's why I bet you.
Okay. Devil's advocate with that. If he's, and I'm going on the second part of it, because pretty much what he's going to be is a paycheck daddy. He ain't going to be in the baby's life. So by giving her the money, and even though she refused, even though she said she was going to get the abortion, then decided not to get the abortion without letting him know, you feel that he's wrong, even though it was her choice to decide to have the child, when they had agreed to not have the child.
He probably said he was going to pull out and didn't pull out.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Who knows? He planted the seed. You feel me? He could have kept that to himself. He didn't have to sleep with this woman and give her his.
Wait.
his
You mean
mind.
that 39-year-old
Wait. See, this is what I hate. This is the part I hate. He didn't have to sleep with this woman.
Well,
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
before you go on that, can I just?
If you hear it, it's always a woman gave a man some pussy. So she didn't have to give him pussy. Yes or no?
I agree.
So-
But that's what she wanted to do.
And so he's wrong for wanting to sleep with her?
He's wrong for
Wait,
giving her
wait.
his semen and now saying I don't want anything to do with this baby.
Nah. I totally disagree with that.
I disagree as well.
Because she's wrong for taking the semen shit.
Well, I think the only wrong thing happened here was agreeing to the abortion, keeping the money, and still having a baby. Like, you can't really have it. You shouldn't be able to have it always. Now, that part I do think is wrong. If you agreed on getting an abortion, you took that man money, you should have got that damn abortion. If you weren't going to give him his money back. And women don't give money back. Everybody know that. So that isn't fair. But if he's stated he don't want a kid, it's also unfair for women to force you to be a part of something that you expressed up front. Me, if I know you don't want a kid and I don't want to have a fatherless child, then I don't sleep with you. But I don't blame you for being honest or standing on your word. He told you what he didn't want. It's not fair for us to and we do it, but it's not fair that women hold all the cards. We can say we don't want to get an abortion because it's our body. We're gonna have our baby. It's our body. But he don't get to say, I don't want to be a part of it. I mean, he forced to pay for it. Whether he was a millionaire or not, he still would have to pay for it. He just happened to be a millionaire. Who can give you $1 million up front? Raise your child and pray that one day he, decides he want to be a part of it. But I don't feel it's fair to force anybody to do nothing when they was honest up front. Cause he didn't have to sleep with her. She didn't have to get up. She wanted some money. He wanted some pussy. Hey, we even. Everybody got what they wanted. I mean, at 38 years old, and he's 23.
Yeah,
you didn't really want him.
What about the other girl, though?
Well,
they said he got two.
Well, we talk about Aisha
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
we talking
I
about
mean,
that.
but he's involved with the other people now. Mm-hmm. It's just, this is, you know how much you got to be
It's what
hated.
it was. She was probably just something he was hitting, and she ended up pregnant. Probably he went for the okie doke. Yeah, I'm on birth control or something like that, and he did it, and now he regrets it. But I will say this: if you take his money out of it, this happens a lot. Mm-hmm. People don't want to talk about it, but I have. I'm not pro-abortion. I'll be honest with you. I'll just be honest. That's my right, just like it's somebody else's right to do what they want to do. But I will say this, that I know a lot of men that pay child support and have absolutely nothing to do with the child live in the same city. Or I know ones that are living in other cities and don't travel to see the child, have not tried to be child of life because the child was, quote unquote, a mistake. So I think that's different people. I couldn't do it. I couldn't know my child was out there and not deal with it. But everybody's wanting to paint a bad picture of him. He was up front with it. I think it was careless on his part to sleep with it unprotected, if that's the, way he was going to go with it. But since it did happen, he didn't shirk responsibility. He tried to end it with money. She took the money and said, oh, no, I'm not going to get 100, I'm going to get $1 million. And she played it because she envisioned herself getting 30, 40, 50,000 a month in child support, and she's 39 and was set. So I think that she played her hand perfectly. He just went all in on a pair of twos and lost. So the turn got tore up. But I'll just say this, it happens all the time. People trying to point, oh, he's this bad guy. I know people right in the same city as your son. If you ever coach youth football, which all three of us have, and you can attest to the number of kids that play under you year after year, and not a single one of the fathers for some of the kids showed up, and you may have had that kid 20-some-odd games, 30-some-odd games. So it's...
Is it right, though?
Oh, no, it's not right at all. Okay. I can't.
Okay.
I couldn't do it for myself, but the fact that he didn't say, get away from me, I'm not going to take care of the child. He just said, here's your money. I don't want to be involved in that child's life, which is hurt. It's going to hurt because it plays out in public when that kid's old enough to, and somebody slips on the table, gets to joining him, hey, your daddy didn't even want you.
Right.
He paid your mom off. That's going to hurt. So they're going to have to get that money, put some of the money away for the Sachiaki already.
She did a video. She did a video where she actually, because so many people has been coming at her, she did a video and basically said, ladies, y'all can't talk about me because y'all out there having babies with cats.
Facts. Facts.
That ain't got no money.
He work at 7-Eleven.
that ain't got no money.
That pretty much summed up her attention, then, don't it?
Absolutely.
Hey,
It is, yeah.
I was just about to say sometimes
she
you
caught him
should just keep
slipping.
quiet.
sometimes
She caught him
You should
slipping.
just
she
keep
probably should have
quiet.
kept quiet with that because she showed what she was trying to do. Now the whole unprotected thing, that part kind of, hey, I mean, maybe you think when you got 200-something million. And again, we're talking about somebody that's money that we can only think about.
We don't know how it happened. How about that?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
We don't know if it was unprotected. We don't know if it came off. We don't know if it broke. We don't know how it happened.
Well, it
We just
sound
know
like
it
She
happened.
had a turkey
It
base
sounded like it was intentional.
in the bathroom.
Could have been,
There's
you know.
some pinholes in it or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know
Some
what?
nights are wild.
Angela, after you comment on it, we're gonna go from $252 million to that $52,000 type cat. We're gonna look at the situation from that point of view.
I mean, my comment is similar, man. I think it's a terrible situation. I mean, it's hard to judge. If a man doesn't want to have a child and he tells you flat out, it's unfortunate that, you don't, your rights mean absolutely nothing. Your desires mean absolutely nothing. It's her decision. And you got to live with the consequences of it, Now, as far as he goes, man, my only thought on this at this point is I hope that at some point, let's face facts, the child is here now. You know what I mean? So you just got to hope at some point. I think right now he's working off of emotions and anger.
Yeah.
And I think he has a right to be angry. Don't get me wrong. But I think he's working off of emotions and anger. And you hope at some point that calms down. You hope at some point his parents, whoever's in his life, can sit him down and say, all right, I get it. However, that young girl is here. And, social media ain't going to do it but get worse. You want your child to see what you said about her. You know what I mean? You want how would that affect that child growing up? You know what I mean? It's just like, you got to be concerned. You hope at some point that he can take that disdain from her and bottle it up to still be a father to the child in some shape, form, or fashion.
Exactly.
That's the only thing I can hope for.
I
at
hope
this
it's
point.
not like a Karl Malone type
Yeah.
situation.
Dennis Rodman, you know what I mean?
With Karl Malone got the young lady pregnant when he was
Carl
young.
didn't take care of him, no.
And then once she made it in basketball, people found out that Karl Malone was the father. And, then he tried to step in later, not to gain any limelight, just because people found out. And this was in the beginning stages of social media. So you can just imagine this young lady, when I say in regards to young lady, I'm talking about the baby, the little girl, as she's growing up, every time anything is posted, it's going to be about Anthony Edwards' daughter.
And that's what I'm saying. You got to live with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Every time anything is posted, somebody going to be like, that's Anthony Edwards' daughter.
and you hear those things about daddy issues and all that stuff, and you don't
Yeah.
really know what it is until you get old enough and start seeing what a father really does mean to the kids,
Or lack
and what it
thereof.
really does mean, or lack thereof, to a daughter. You know what I mean? And what some young ladies go through and deal with throughout the rest of their lives because they didn't have that father in their life. And
I think it's more
I think it's,
profound.
I just think it. That's why I say I hope at some point he can remove the anger and disdain for the mother to be able to give himself to the child. And there's ways of doing it without having. You don't have to deal with her. You know what I mean? You got court. I mean, the dude is super rich.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He can
He can make it happen.
I
He can
agree.
make it happen. He can make it happen.
Exactly.
I hope he have a change of heart.
Going to
I
be
agree.
richer.
Right. I agree. I hope he
Yeah.
have a change of heart, but
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. And I'm a daddy's girl, so I definitely think that little girl deserves
So-
her dad.
I teach my sons that if you don't want a baby or you not feeling a woman like that, if she's not your wife, you don't trust none of these women. You cannot trust a woman with your seed. If it's your wife, you should be able to have an understanding that she's going to be honest if she's on birth control or not, or if she's ready for a baby. If your wife tricks you, that's one thing. If one of these chicks that's out here in these streets and you just trying to lay up with them, if they trick you, that's on you. Because you have to be responsible with your body. Period.
So a woman
don't
has
trust
no
none of these
factors in
women.
that.
You don't trust.
But you're not attacking her.
I'm not trying to be
You
mean. You
attacked
don't
him,
trust the.
but you
No, I
just
didn't
said-
attack him at all. I didn't. I just said
Yeah,
I
you
did
did.
not. You asked me what I thought about him having a baby and saying I'm not gonna now be a father or be in this child's life. I don't think that's right. Do I think it's right that she tricked him? No, I do not. But
Okay,
now
so
the baby
you
is
clarify
here.
with that, okay.
I said he made a mistake. I said he may have made a mistake. That's what I'm saying. But now the child is here. This is not like you crashed a car. You created a human being. And so that's what
agree
I'm
with that.
talking about. I'm not saying, I do feel like that it's wrong for women to be out here doing what they do, right? However, when you become an adult, you already know these things. You know that if you're a millionaire, people are coming for you.
Well, he's 23
You know.
though. For me,
And
a
he didn't know
23-year-old still got the mind of a 17-year-old for real. And he got all this
That's all
money.
that money.
He ain't even really thinking. That's why I feel the way I feel, because I got 4 boys and I'm not going to be okay with that shit happening with mine. I'm just not going to be okay. Am I going to tell you to be a man and take care of your kid? Yeah, but I might just understand my child.
Okay, so let's flip it real quick. Take Anthony Edwards out. Let's say dude name is Rodney Perkle. And Rodney Perkle makes $51,000 a year. And he gets whoever pregnant and offers her $1,000 because she says, "Give me $1,000, I get the
That's happened to people.
abortion
That has
done.
happened.
I'll get the abortion done." Do you think the story would change? Would it be different in regards to what? I'm trying to see if money is the moving.
The money's a factor on why she did it. Okay? It's
Right.
no difference than when there's a 40-year-old guy and he's dating an 18, 21-year-old girl. What do y'all always say? He just in it for the sex. Well, she was in it for the money.
Yeah.
And if it's a $51,000 guy and the chick gets pregnant by him, I guarantee you she's going to sit down with the,
I agree.
I'll take that 1,000 to go. But then there's a lot of women that make the mistake of having a child thinking the man's going to stay with them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that shows with our 74% out of wedlock birth rate that doesn't work.
And that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes them women just want their child.
was
Now
about
they're
money with
pregnant.
her.
Now I'm not saying her
This situation
His
is about
situation was okay, but I'm saying there's a lot of situations that are not about money where this woman just does not want to get an abortion. There's like you
So-
said, there's a whole lot of single mothers that the father is not even around.
So let me ask you that.
They're trying to
Ask
raise
this.
these kids.
In regards to somebody that just want their child, do you think that woman, if the father said, "I don't want anything to do with this child," do you think that woman would be okay with saying, "Okay, well, you don't have anything to do with this child. I don't need no child support or anything from you. I'm gonna keep it moving," because all she wanted was a child.
If that's all she wanted. But I don't know. I think all don't want child support. Like, I don't see nobody just keeping a child to raise on their own and it's no benefit, period. Like, that, no.
What?
I ain't keeping, I'm not keeping no child to take care by myself. I'm just not doing it.
So
But you saying that you don't see that
I'm-
anybody wanting to have a baby,
So
and
you would
not
just
get the
have it
child
with
support
anybody
because
because
it's
you
not
just
a,
want-
because if
Yeah.
they're not getting child support. I know a lot of women that don't ask.
no. That's not saying that they
Oh, okay.
don't get it. Saying that if the dad said, "I don't want anything to do with this child, I'm stepping away," would they say, "Okay, cool," and not ask for child support?
That's what I'm saying. I know women that say, "I'm not asking him for anything." Like if he does not want to do for the child, I'm not asking him for anything.
I know women like that
You
too,
know.
me. But that doesn't mean I didn't want it. I wanted it.
Did you ask for it?
I
That's
did
what I'm
not
saying.
because I'm
Okay.
not gonna make you, but I wanted
Okay.
it, and I would have loved for you to just do it like men should. But had I known that I was gonna be doing it by myself, and I love my kids, if you know me, you know I love them 4 boys. But if I had known I was gonna be able to do it by myself, absolutely not. I would have much rather him tell me, "Hey, I ain't gonna be cut out for this." I'm not, I'm not pro-abortion either.
Was he there with the first
Oh, he was there. He didn't leave until we separated. He was there. He was a great dad in the house. But the moment he became out of the house, You know, it was all me, and it's been all me until I got married. But had I known, I wouldn't have done it.
So in your
That's real.
case, it was something
that
that
shit.
was.
I feel like he tricked me.
But put the circumstances put you in that position. The circumstances put you in that position. But I'm thinking
That
of
picture you put you in that position.
you're a woman that's finds out she's pregnant. She's what, 6 weeks or whatever, and she goes to the supposed father and say, "Hey, listen, I'm pregnant," and he says, "Listen, I don't
You ever
want
call her
this
now?
child." Say it again. You know, she finds out she's pregnant, goes to the guy, "Hey, listen, I'm pregnant." Dude says, "Listen, that's not what I'm in this for. You know, we just met the other night. It was a one night type thing. Both of us made a mistake of sleeping unprotectedly, and now I don't want anything to do with this child. You know, we need to get it handled in another way." Will she, knowing that he doesn't want it at that time, yours was different.
Right.
At that time, knowing that from birth date,
If you kept a
Forward.
baby after, you know, a one night, or it should have been a one night stand, 9 times out of 10, you're going to try to force him to do something. Because why would keeping a baby be considered? Well, I'm not
as
pro
you said,
abortion.
some people just want children.
With anybody.
Some people
I don't
just
know them
want,
type
some
of people.
women just
Well,
want I know some women that
Yeah.
want children. I don't know
but
that.
a 39-year-old woman stalking a
that they would do
23-year-old
it
don't count.
without a support system from the father. But that's what I'm saying. Do you think there are some women that would actually have a child knowing for a fact
Yes.
that they're not going to get any support from
Yeah.
the father, financially, emotionally, physically, anything?
Yeah.
Yes, I think there are some
Yeah.
yes, but
Okay.
I'm just different. I'm just different. And that's-
Some women don't want the man to be involved.
That's what I exactly.
There's some out
I
there
know.
who-
I know
and-
women like
don't
And
that.
want
those
to
are
do it.
people who just want kids, but I'm
LGBT
different.
cute.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's-
that too.
that's-
my,
that's
my
one.
brother-in-law.
Well,
he,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that
When I
kind of
was in
makes
the
sense
military, I was
because
approached with that, you know, can you give us a, you know,
Right.
yeah, I can see that, but I'm talking somebody that's, you know, a womanly woman, as we say, a manly man, a
You know,
womanly woman that's not dealing with other women, that's, you know, would actually have a child and not and be okay with no support in no kind of way from.
it's some that would.
Especially in Atlanta, there's a lot of
but
sisters
if
making
I-
money in
I
Atlanta.
won't.
They
If
get
I'm
to
a
that
man-
point that
yeah,
they
you're
haven't got a
right.
man, they want a child, they'll
Yep.
go ahead and do it, yeah.
Yeah. If I'm a man, I'm out here having one night stands. You ain't got my right. You don't have the right the number, the correct number, or the correct name. So you're not gonna find me. I'm just saying, if I was a man, I wouldn't be shit either. If I'm out here having one
Until
night
she finds
stands,
out he's a billionaire.
if
she
I'm
be
out here having one night stands,
I mean,
I'm playing y'all.
I'm
I'm
just never
playing.
gonna put myself in a position like I would, you know. I'm not pro-abortion, like I keep saying. I'm just not, and I've terminated a pregnancy that I wanted, but I knew the situation what may not be good,
Okay.
and I just don't want that. I don't want to create a situation for my child that I have to explain later.
Oh,
I haven't
That's good.
terminated it, but I've threatened.
being honest, I like that. You on the other hand.
Look, I wasn't too sure if it was mine or not, so I threatened. Go on to that other cat.
Yeah, that's
Now, see, that's And on the
Capture.
flip
Who you
side,
with on
with
Tuesday,
Alicia,
y'all?
I don't know too many women that wouldn't have had their baby. Like, you know, listen, I'd have just been just as honest as him. Hey, sir, I don't want your abortion money because I'm about to have this baby. Period. I ain't gonna take your money and lie to you. I
Shit,
tell
the
you
time
anything
she
but a
left her
lie.
real boyfriend probably turned upside down and held her like that for about 3 days.
Oh my gosh! But Lo said that this is what he does, though, right? Didn't you say
Well, he
that,
got
Lo?
a couple of kids.
That he's been offering women. He just gives women 100,000. So maybe she didn't ask
he
for
got
it.
2 other kids already, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's his MO is you know, and he's not the only one. There's several of them out there that's saying, hey, let me just give you this money
Right.
you know, and number one said is things you do to get fixed. If a dude 23 years old, that dude not getting getting clipped at 23 years old. You know what I mean? It's, you know, but
he ain't doing it.
Yeah, nah, 23 he ain't doing it. You know.
But he definitely got like 3 under 1.
Yeah,
but
and
you
he
know,
could have diseases. Like you out here just raw dogging everybody.
So, but
Like, I don't know.
But,
Like
but
I
are we
said, a
gonna
lot
blame the women though? Are they gonna take accountability for sleeping with a nigga who got 3 kids under 1?
Yeah.
'Cause I ain't doing it.
I'm saying they want the money.
Okay, well now you got
They
it.
want.
And
I'm not
baby.
saying they're not wrong. I'm saying as a man, I'm not giving you the satisfaction of having my baby. Period. If I'm a millionaire and I don't want to be paying you, and I don't want to take care of your kids, I'm not going to just be running up in all these women just because you look good.
So, you stupid. Frank said, bruh, Key, Lady Cop, and Kate, my agent really getting fired. Millennial said he's wrong for being honest. That was a question towards you. Things we don't like to talk about says she's wrong, period. She didn't have to open her legs. So the morning after pill doesn't exist, she laid down for the bag. I think
She laid down for the bag.
I think at that age, you definitely
39 years
39 years old, a
nothing snuck up on her.
23-year-old. Yeah.
Girl, I went there.
She got that bad that
So
she's
a whole lot of
60.
women doing
They
that.
are both adults, and from what we know, only one lied.
Agreed. Cause I have no baby for
Millennial said I'm pro-choice, and that's on both sides. If a man says up front he doesn't want to deal with the child, then that's his choice. The fake moral compass is unnecessary. I believe that went over there as well.
I mean, I know I got the unpopular opinion. That was from the jump.
Everyone's morality is not 100%. Frank says she saw him coming, literally and figuratively. Drea, Michelle, and Brittany Reiner, young rich dudes, really need to look at these women, these wanted posters a little closer. All nearly 40-year-old women getting it. Yeah.
Shit,
But some of them still looking like they ain't 40, so that's the problem. What does this have to do with her agreeing to have an abortion and them not getting it done?
Hell no.
That was a scam. It was a $52,000 man, then it's an accident not planned. She clearly did not see the Ray Caruso story. Don't be out here taunting these cats. And that's a real statement now.
Hey, for real. For real. Wow.
Frank, I saw the whole Ray Caruso trial. She didn't see it. From number one fan, that child will find out the real. Where's the fairness? Where's the morality and outrage about that? From millennial, professional wrestler, astronaut, action star, banker at Wachovia, working at National Geographic. Then when I talk about it, says a woman will use whatever leverage she can to get to the money or wait a minute. She can use whatever leverage she can get, be it money or child, depending on how she feels about the man. If she wants to hurt him, then she will do whatever comes to mind. For number one fan, women better stop with the ish. Famous soccer player had the Colombian mob take care of his pregnant side piece. Found her cut up in an oil tank.
Was he ever charged? Was he
Dog.
ever charged?
I don't know the answer to that.
Sheesh.
She said she didn't want to travel the world and have some
I don't want to show baby that baby.
have done some will do more. Fan shot you talking about the chick who said you have to have a $5 million to date her. Yeah, that woman crazy. Ain't nobody studying that crazy woman. What's her name? I can't think of her name, but yeah, she crazy. I mean, diseases don't matter anymore. Matt Johnson's still alive.
That's what I went on you to read. I was like, oh my
That is
God.
a topic. Honestly, that's a topic.
The doctor that found the cure was a
And
Lakers
said,
fan.
Pull out.
He got plenty of money.
Did Magic Johnson
The pull-out method is not effective.
and
Pull out
his-
after what?
It's
and
not
his
effective.
trajectory after HIV, make people actually be a little bit more careless because before Magic, everybody that
dude.
came over with the disease went down.
Let's face facts, man. That Magic Johnson scare lasted about a good year. And after that, everybody was like, it ain't going to happen to
He
me
gained
syndrome.
weight.
Yeah, so,
He gained weight when he caught HIV. Whew, yeah. What you got on top 5 on?
It will hurt the child in the long run. People need to stop playing around with the lives of innocent children for money. That's, but they're not going to stop. I mean,
Facts.
you can go to any NBA game right now and you look at the front row and they all are dressed accordingly.
Yeah.
They perched, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
They're there for one reason and one
Shoulders
reason
back.
only.
Look, shoulders back.
And they know they're there for one reason only, It's just what it
Exactly.
is, man. So
So,
Being,
Huh?
being in the middle of December, and they out there with a midriff
Half naked.
Listen,
That's what they gonna do, man. So you
snowing
know.
outside. They out there with the hips out.
And the reality of it is, all these young brothers they got so many symposiums now for all these young rich athletes to protect yourselves. That women are coming after you, all these things. The warning is there. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to be smarter. But I say this all the time, man. It's easy to judge these 20-year-olds, man, but none of us can relate to what it's like to wake up at 18, 19 years old with $40 million in your bank account, knowing you got another 100, 200 million guaranteed coming. Just can't relate to it.
No, you can't.
Because a lot of us can say we be slap fools at $40 million.
You know,
Hey, man, you be just,
Right now,
Negative
I
stat.
probably
So you
be
feel
3
like
months
the
pregnant.
money-
get somebody
Fast.
pregnant by mistake.
so you feel like since the money introduces them to a different caliber of woman, they don't have control, self-control?
No, it's not even a different
Hey,
caliber. It's just they've been
it's
getting
a-
that
any
it's-
woman,
it's
they
a
get
lot.
anyone they
It's a
want.
high
lot
school.
harder to have self-control for sure.
Not only with women, but with anything.
Yeah, with anything.
With anything.
It's a lot harder
to
Houses,
have self-control.
cars, jewelry. Look at them. They just buy. It's harder to have self-control
When you can have
you have
anything
your
you
health
want.
and you already got 40 or 60, knowing that in another 2-3 years you're gonna sign another contract.
And we're not talking about regular women. We talking about, you know, pick of the litter women. You know what I mean? It's like, hey.
Hey,
Yeah,
back in my
I
day,
agree
it
with you,
was hard for me
Ben.
to have control of my little. And I ain't have nowhere near.
Right. Right.
Well, when you got 40 million, you can pick the one you want.
Hey, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
I mean, you think about what
Say,
I mean.
bro.
When you think about this, when you
Right.
think about in the mathematics of what this particular guy's, you talking about $500,000 per game. Can you imagine you playing an 82 game season? Every game is $500,000.
And to make it sound,
I mean, so that $100,000,
that's
that means
$500,000.
that's 2 games. That's 2 games.
That wasn't even a full game.
That's 2 games that paid is what he's trying to offer her for 18 years. That's 2 games.
Right.
I still got 80 more.
If I played full season, man, make the championship.
Look, I can have 12. Look, I can have 12 more kids, and I'm like, talk about it, man.
Real Frank said, bro, Magic Johnson dollars ain't the same as everyone else. Ask Easy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Magic Johnson dollars are different. All right, here we go.
That's
Right
easy.
here.
Frank.
Yeah. So top 5, man. Your top 5.
Frank.
When as you were growing up as a kid, going through high school, man, you know, what were the top 5 jobs that you dreamed of doing, that you thought that you may do or you dreamed of doing growing up? The top 5 jobs that you just said, I think I want to do that. I might want to do that. I might want to do that.
Oh, wow. Damn.
I'll start with millennials while y'all thinking. He says professional wrestler, astronaut, action star, banker at Wachovia, and working at National Geographic. Now, how did banker? What was it about Wachovia that turned you on?
It was the colors.
The colors.
It was green and blue. I like their checkbooks because they smell nice.
They say like the checkbooks because they smell
They always
nice.
had candy. Okay. I only went to 2 banks. I only went to Bank of America and my coat.
Hilarious.
Bank of America. They ain't got candy.
Hilarious. One of y'all ready?
I didn't. You said top 5 jobs that you dreamed of.
Dreamed of, thought you may become. Just
Okay, everything that I dreamed of, I did. So I don't know.
what are they then?
And when I was really young, I wanted to be an artist. I'm still an artist. Then I told you I went to hair school at 14. I was already doing hair like 11 and 12. So I ended up wanted to have a salon. So I've had 3 salons, a barbershop, and Shut up, man. So yeah, that's because I was sitting here trying to think. It wasn't anything that I felt like was out of reach. I wanted to be an entrepreneur because both my parents, they worked in a factory, and they could have got me a job, but I didn't want the job because I knew I wanted to be self-employed. I didn't go get the job because back then that was like a thing. Like if you could get on in a factory, that's guaranteed money, and I was like, nah, because I knew I wanted to be self-employed. Mm-hmm.
All right, Kiki, what you got?
For early years, I definitely wanted to be a police. I don't know. Elementary years, police was just cool. As I got a little older, high school, I definitely wanted to go to the Army. I was real big in JROTC. And out of high school, I either want to go to the Army or be a flight attendant. But September 11th definitely killed both of my dreams at once.
She said it once.
And I wanted to be a lawyer. I was always on the debate team in high school, and I was the one that held to the end because I was clutch and quick on my feet. But real bad. Listen, don't play with me if you ain't ready to play. But all of those were my dream jobs, but it kind of, I had a full 360 because I did get into aviation, and I don't want to be a flight attendant anymore. I just like aviation.
Okay. All right, MJ, what you got, bro?
Let's see. When I was real little, Evel Knievel.
Okay. That's real.
Let's see. In the military, because growing up Army brat, you see it, and I ended up doing that Marine Corps. Cop, wanted it, got it, loved it. Businessman, I'm doing that now.
Okay.
And I can't say that one.
You can.
What, a porn star?
Oh, my God.
When you was a kid?
Hugh Hefner.
When you was a kid?
Growing up, you got to dance. And I said I thought that was a job.
He said
boy.
when you was a
Shit.
kid, I thought.
The
Okay.
black Hugh Hefner.
Oh, wow. That's deep. That's deep. You made all your dreams come true.
Look,
She said you made all your dreams.
look, that's why he late, and that's why he leave early.
Right.
That's what's
Got the
going on.
robe in the car.
All right, I would say my first one was to be a manager of a sneaker store. Dr. J's in New York gave me that that motivation. Also, I wanted to be a cop, as in Starsky from Starsky and Hutch. I wanted that car with the white stripe on it until I actually saw a cop get shot at. Changed my mind quick. Changed my mind real quick. Then after that, don't judge me. Pimp
God, dog.
Oh,
or
wow.
dope boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
Pimp
deep.
name Slick.
That's
man.
real stuff,
Hey,
though.
for real, Superfly.
Pretty Ricky.
Pretty Ricky,
Hey.
what they call him.
Superfly
I can see JT
Superfly.
want to be a pimp.
and Shaft. I wanted to be one of them cats. I wanted to be Superfly Shaft. I wanted to be one of them cats. Then Richard Gere's movie came out, American Gigolo. I thought I was gonna be able to sell my body. Because I wanted that. When he opened up the drawer, look at the movie. He
That was
opens
you
up-
on Cypress.
He opens up the drawer and he has a drawer full of ties, and he pulls the ties out for the week. He pulls the shirts. I wanted to be an American Gigolo. Period. And then, of course, started playing high school football. I wanted to be in the NFL. Never thought about the NBA because I was 5'11", but I wanted to be in the NFL. So yeah. What have I achieved? I was a correctional officer. That was close. I did have a dope boy stage, and never really was a pimp, but I've had my American Gigolo stages in my time.
So you think most of those was from the movies?
Yeah.
Nothing with the neighborhood or anything?
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
say?
A lot of them was with the neighborhood, especially in New
Okay.
York. But then seeing it in the neighborhood and then seeing it on TV, just like, oh shit,
Right.
this is obtainable.
Reinforcement.
This is
Yeah.
my man hating them selling weed down the street. I was like, shit, I could do that.
I know a job that I didn't list. I wanted to be a mother.
A mother, you said?
I did. Listen, I did not think I was gonna have 4
Never want
kids.
to be a daddy.
I did.
Man, tell you no wrong.
But I went to school to be a
Can't say
teacher.
that.
So Dwayne, Millennial's last one was a lottery picker. Not sure what that means.
What? Wait. The
Oh, the one
Like
that
the
keeps the
people on
numbers out?
TV.
the ball, pillar.
On TV when the
Who
ball
said that,
dropped
millennial?
and then you call the number.
That's
He got a straight face too.
dead serious. He like what the problem is.
He dead serious.
I got you, faded.
I'm so
Dwayne says a doctor, a lawyer, the popo, the president, and his favorite one, a dinosaur.
Oh, I love that.
Which one did you achieve?
That's real.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, Dwayne, you play flag football about 5 more years, you will be a dinosaur. You good.
Honorable mention, the kid on blank check. All right, Frank got podcast host. Wasn't no podcast back then, boy. NFL player, NBA player, a lawyer, and Kojak.
Kojak, tell us about us.
Frank, you wanted to be bald back then?
Yeah, you got that wish. And he said, ask a cop is a body double for the dude with the knee brace and Tim's on every flick.
I cannot.
That's hilarious. Our lady said, I said before, I don't recall wanting to do anything from being a child, but Nee and I used to be in school, and I was a teacher to my dolls and teddy bears, and I became a teacher. We used to pretend to write newspapers. Yeah, you know that guy too with the Tim's on? That's hilarious. He used to pretend to write newspapers for competitions as well, and she became a writer. How about that? All right, so I got, I just want to be an actor. Yeah, when I was in Texas, I just knew I was going to be an actor. Other than that, I wanted to be an NFL football player. I had those dreams for a mighty long time, and so I went to college and saw how big and strong and fast everybody was, and it was like, ooh, it's probably not going to be for me. That was 2. Oh, a lawyer. And I knew I was going to be a lawyer. But further on in college, I was like, man, so you said you got to do this for 4 more years?
Man.
I was like, I don't know about this one. Wanted to be a sports guy, sportscaster type.
I think you would be pretty good at it.
And I've always, talked about owning my own business. I always want to be a club owner and things of that nature. So,
You that to the 4th power.
a couple things did come to fruition. I said I would never be a police officer. I'd never go in the military.
Hey,
So I don't use the word never anymore.
bro, the military, that was mine too.
Oh, I said
I said I would never do it.
Yeah, I said I'd never do it. All that moved around, I was like, man, I don't want to do this junk.
Mess around and pass that test, and they showed me my pay scale. All right,
Sign me up.
look,
My mom said her dream job and got to being in the Army, a movie star, singer, an artist, and model. All right. Hold on. Oh, there he goes. He just want to get back on the ball joke. Yeah, it was a struggle getting you to class those years, whatever.
I believe it.
you want to get back?
Yeah, get back.
Get back. All right, real quick.
I was a model student.
Let folks know where they can follow you.
I'm on Instagram at Jazay Sunray and on everything at Jazay Sunray.
Kiki, let them know where they can follow you if you want them to follow you.
Don't.
She said, don't. Say if you don't know, you don't know, huh?
Everybody don't want to be followed. You know,
I do not.
I'm walking down behind
It
you.
don't matter. He got you up there anyway. You're followed.
Light skinned cutie. Yes, sir. She came here tonight. She was ready. Yeah, bro. Yeah. We'll let you freshen up before we take our pictures. MJ, what you got, bro?
I don't got nothing, man. Just chilling.
Oh, yeah, just give your IG handle, bro.
Oh, my, what is it?
Where you at?
IG at Ask a Cop MJ.
See, reading it.
No, I didn't get what you're saying, but I got
That's
it.
why you sound slow.
Thank you, Dwayne.
At AskerCop and MJ.
Angelo, go on,
Hey
get
man,
some.
listen
What's
real
happening at the
quick,
club
man. This week I got Cameron Keys, young guy, doing his thing. I just want to say this real quick. I say a lot of times, man, check up on your people. You know, recently, man, I've had two really good friends of mine suffer some real illnesses, man. And these are young guys, you know, in our world, you know, 50-something years old, you still, you know, but these are young. But they were suffering through stuff, man, and you don't even know until you don't know, you know. And I had a couple friends of mine. One of them in particular, man, we give a lot of. Was a school teacher, principal for many, many years, and when he was going through his health scare, you know, he was in a hospital, and one of his former students ended up being his nurse, and she told him, "Now I get to take care of you like you took care of all of us throughout school." And then he got all these warm wishes when people found out what was going on from all the people from the school system. But so many former students were chiming in, crying, you know what I mean, saying how much they loved him and what he meant to them. And, you know, and one thing I told him was, brother, really absorb all of this, because the stuff that these people are saying to you are usually only said when that person's laying in a box and they can't hear none of it. You know what I mean? So to be able to get those warm wishes from all those people that you touched their lives, absorb it. You know what I mean? Don't be stubborn. Really appreciate, you know, and show what you be able to do to these people, and the fact that you get a chance to hear it. You know what I mean? So, but I'm saying all to say, man, I just think we all need to make sure you continue to check in with your people, because it would have been devastating to hear that person passed and you never had a chance to speak to them. And the folks that you love and appreciate, man, let them know that jump, man, because you don't want to wait till it's too late and you talking to a box. So that's it.
In other words,
Megan, I love you.
Give flowers and also accept your flowers.
He said, Megan, I love you.
Had a lot of conversations, real quick, had a lot of conversations this week with some people. I'm actually going to start something soon in regards to men and having a safe space to feel and heal. Gentlemen, find someone that you can speak to. Talk to them. I actually had some conversations with some people this week that we were talking about sports at 1 minute. Next thing you know, we was talking about something that was really going on with them, and they were struggling with it mentally. Not saying that it is mental health, but not saying that they needed to go to a psychiatrist at that moment, but at the same time, they still was able to get it out. So make sure that you do that. Shell of a Man, the stage play, will be here at Atlanta Comedy Corner on July 20th on that Sunday. Tickets are on Eventbrite, $25 for general admission. You want to sit there right next to the stage. It's $40 for VIP. Go ahead and get that ticket. Yours truly is in the play. It's an outstanding play.
Sell it out, folks. Sell it out.
Nice.
And also, I did my first 2 episodes for Country Wayne yesterday. So y'all look for it. My name is Robert. That's all I'm gonna give you right now, but it is coming up. It's gonna be you might not like me. So yeah, that part. So
That's good acting.
yeah, that's gonna do it for now, man. We will be back next week with some more dialogue for the community. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a come.
And we are out. You dig?